Well, after a great town stop, huge thank you to Katie, Derek, Teresa, and team. It is time to get back on CDT. Hey folks, this is Lewis and Clark Pass. Do it real quick. So, July 3rd, 1806, Meriwether Lewis and William Clark parted ways for their return trip across what would later become Montana to the United States. The captains planned to meet up at the confluence of the Missouri and Yellowstone rivers in mid-August. While Clark explored the Yellowstone River Valley, Lewis and 9 men traveled along the Clark Fork and Blackfoot rivers, following a well-established Native American trail called, I'm not going to do that, the Road to the Buffalo. Lewis and his men crossed through what is today known as the Lewis and Clark Pass on July 7th, 1806, where I'm standing now. Nearly 40 years later, Father Nicholas Point, a Jesuit priest, accompanied a Salish hunting party across the pass on their way to the buffalo hunting grounds. He brought a copy of Lewis's journals with him and noted in his own journal the time at which he believed he was standing on Lewis and Clark Pass. In his diary, Point notes that he left a crucifix, a common practice amongst traveling missionaries, at the top of the pass. Today, the remains of a stone Celtic cross on Lewis and Clark Pass may be the very one Father Point left behind there in 1845. The pass is located several miles north of this historic marker. Woo! Morning all. So starting to hit the point of the trail where water carries are becoming a thing. So I've got about a 15-mile day today, and I've got my only water source for the day right in front of me. So I'm gonna drink up pretty good here and then fill up my water and do my thing. Town stays and visits are amazing. And, not but. I'll do an and, not a but statement. And there are 1,300 foot climbs after town stays. Woo! Coming up from the highway, but boy is it beautiful. Here we go. Howdy folks, so I've got some level terrain, almost fell, and some good views, and no wind, so it's a great time to talk to you. And I wanted to talk to you about how I got my trail name. As I mentioned, trail names are those names that people use on trail that are like nicknames, because it's way easier to remember somebody by a nickname than it is to try to remember their actual name, because you meet so many people out here. I got my trail name on the Appalachian Trail, just outside of Franklin, North Carolina, right around Standing Indian Mountain. And just for some background information, when Swiss Miss and I started hiking the Appalachian Trail, we started out with knee braces. That way we could give our knees some time to adjust to the trail for additional support, and then we would remove them once our joints got caught up to the trail, and that usually was about a month that we wore those for. Now one day we were hiking and I kept feeling this pain in my knee brace, and I thought maybe there was a pine needle or a piece of string in there, but it was just like not bad enough to make me really take a look at it, but just bad enough to I'm like, yep, I'm getting poked. So this goes on for 10 miles and we hit our campsite at the end of the day. I was like, okay, now I'm gonna figure out what the heck has been stabbing me all day. And I take the knee brace off, and sure enough, right in there is a little golden trout hook that was stabbing me all day. Not enough to get into the skin, not enough to the barb anyway, but just enough where I was just getting doot, doot, doot every single step. So that is how I got my trail name, because I had a hook in my knee brace. And I think it got in there because there's so many different trout streams near that area. I probably sat down to get some water, and maybe somebody had dumped their tackle box there on accident, and one of those hooks found its way into my knee brace and into my life. So that's the story of my trail name. Oh, I think that's a fawn. That was a fawn mule deer. Baby mule deer. Hey folks, so relatively smooth day today. Some good climbing right there at the beginning. Beautiful views coming up out of Lincoln. And it's nice because today is a shorter day in comparison to the days that we've been doing recently. So it was about 14, 15 miles, which is perfect. I love doing a shorter day heading into a 0 day. That way it's almost like you get 2 days of rest and you still get to knock out some mileage. Currently on the downslope to Fletcher Pass where the highway crosses, and then I'll get picked up there by a former Warrior Expeditions community supporter, and her and I are gonna run into Helena and pick up some new gear. Ooh, exciting. I'll show it on the video, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but you'll get to see it. So I'll have new gear, and then I'm gonna pick up the food that I need to make it to the town of Anaconda, because I'll be taking the Anaconda Cutoff, which is a Continental Divide Trail alternate. Once again, the Continental Divide Trail has many routes that you can take as long as they follow the Continental Divide. It is considered a Continental Divide through hike. So I'm gonna take Anaconda, the Anaconda Cutoff, which allows for easier resupply, and I believe it also shaves off a couple miles as well. So that's the plan, guys. I will bring you on throughout the day. Getting close to the highway. So I also realize for the audience that sometimes it can be kind of a bummer when you're watching a hiker and they're going into town on a frequent basis. They're like, why the heck am I watching this? It's supposed to be a wilderness video. But good for you. The CDT has these types of stops far and few between, but sometimes they're just stacked like right on top of each other. Because usually when you get close to some infrastructure, you're likely going to be near it for a day or two. So you're able to couple these together. And then also my body just really needs to take some of these down days where I'm taking advantage of the infrastructure around town to keep me going down the trail. And that's really a body maintenance thing. And also mental. It just provides an excellent opportunity for a good reset, get some real good food. That way you can hard charge and get back into the wilderness. But that is something that I want to address, because I do know I find myself, when I'm watching some of the videos, you're like, man, this person is always in town. That's kind of frustrating. So I am aware of it, but just to give you a little bit of justification and background as to why it happens. Oh, the highway is just down there, and I am sitting here hiding in the shade from the evil day star. There it is. Let me just hide in the darkness. So, doing a little bit of resupply. This is a Winco Foods, my first time ever being in one, so let's see if we can find some cool stuff. Oh, 0 day food. I already got my resupply package, so this is literally just for munching on for the 0 day. So I got a salad, a giant sandwich, and a tall boy, what do we got here? 19 ounce non-alcoholic beer. Here we go. Howdy folks, so I am here, the former Warrior Expeditions community supporter, Joni, who is an absolute treat, and I wanted to show you guys at the cabin that she has graciously allowed me to stay in, and that you also can stay in because you can Airbnb this thing. Let's do a tour. Okay, so we've got the living area here. We've got a wood stove in the corner here for those cold days. She also has baseboard heating running around the perimeter of the cabin, which is a very nice touch. So we got very comfortable couches. We also have a loft up here for additional sleeping areas. Let's go ahead and check that out. Okay, and up here we have 4 full-size beds, plenty of folks to sleep in. Very comfortable and well dressed up with all the linens you could need. Let's go check out the rest of the house. Okay, so we're down here in the kitchen. It has everything that you could possibly want. So we've got a stove, we've got a sink, we've got a fridge and freezer. And she's also got it decked out with all the utensils that you could possibly need to cook up a great meal. And even a microwave in the corner. Let's move on to the bedroom. Okay, so the bedroom has a king-size bed, very comfortable. Once again, wonderful linens there as well. Now let's check out the bathroom. It's relatively straightforward, but everything that you could want. So we've got a shower, so we've got the sink and everything. She's also included some toiletries, and then you've got the head right there. So just about everything that you could want. So we'll go ahead and get the wrap up knocked out, guys. So we started the day out at Highway 200 there, down in Lincoln, Montana. Had a wonderful stay there. Huge shout out to Teresa and KD for letting me stay at your beautiful home. Y'all are wonderful. And a shout out to Derek and Susie for coordinating everything. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much that means to me. You are really trail angels. You've absolutely earned that name. We got on the trail at about 7:30 and then hiked up to where we kind of got back up on the ridge line. So it seems like from this point on, the last 2 days have been a lot of roller coastering, and it seems like that's what it's going to be like for the rest of Montana. And then once I hit the Idaho area, it just seems very roller coaster-ish, which is very similar to how the Appalachian Trail was. So it doesn't make it easier, but at least it's not unfamiliar. We could say that. And then knocked out 15 miles to Fletcher Gap, where I was picked up by Joni, the community supporter, as I've told you about. And she graciously drove me into Helen, where I was able to get my resupply box, all this junk you see on the table. So we've got some really good gear in there. I think I'm going to save the unveiling of what that is for tomorrow. But anyways, was able to get that done, which was wonderful. And then got back here to this beautiful cabin that you guys got the tour of recently. So all in all, 5-star day. I mean, they're all 5-star days, but this one's got, I don't know, some sparkles on it. It's just a special day. Lots of really good people. And to me, that is what I was most excited about coming out here. That's what I got a huge amount of value out of on the Appalachian Trail hike, when just all the incredible people that Swiss Miss and I got to meet. And it's the same for this hike. It really, it's the people that make the trail. The views are amazing and great, but the views can get old after a little while. And it really is the people that make the trail. And I think this person needs to go to bed. So I'm going to hop off, and I will see you guys tomorrow.